Hello and welcome back to Dustfront. My name is Ty. The demo is still live. We've been given an extra week, and the developer's given us a bit more of a challenge by adding ×2 and ×3 modes, which increase the health of the enemy by that set amount. We still have a couple of challenges left. The challenge tonight is all about the brutes. We're going to knock out the infantry only challenge. And the other day I experimented with a facility for the brutes, which I think will be amazing when we scale it up. And if I've got my maths right, the enemy won't be able to do anything to stop us. We should have about 60 to 80 squads of brutes on the field all at once. We're going in with the dreadnoughts. We're doing ×1. We're not going to put it up yet. I need practice at that level. I got curb stomped. We're going in with the dreads. We're going in with the molots instead of the MLRS. See if we can survive a bit longer. And we've got some BTRs in the second wave. But after that, no more vehicles. And we are going to win the map with infantry. Having a look at the spawn zone here. It's not looking great. But once we have the facility up, we won't really need money. I'm also going to experiment with the assault trooper because I haven't seen much use for them. I haven't seen much love for them. And we're going to see if we can make them work. They effectively have an autocannon like the one out of Helldivers. I haven't been able to figure out the no reinforcement challenge. Not at 10 times difficulty. I need some more practice. We'll bring in a dropship here. Going with the molots. No fire to help us today. And from what I just saw then, it looks like you could put the MCV down in a different deployment zone if you wanted to. The molots have already opened up. Got enemy on the front lawn already. Once we clear this out, it looked like it might be a decent area to defend. Looks like there's a giant divider in front of us. So early mission, I guess, will be to clear out this base. Set up a defensive line, set up the economy enough for us to just start building the ultimate clone facility. The brutes will be the boys tonight. Second processing plant down. Got a fair bit of room to work with, and we're going to need it because the complectors have a very high power requirement. Very high. If we could close the door there, it might actually be bad because they will swing around to our extreme flank. Let's move up a little bit. And it looks like there's another door we can close up ahead. Bring the pipe crashing down. It's the boys' time. How you going, Vez? Early pressure on their production. For the clone facility design I came up with, I feel like it's pretty optimized for speed and storage. And we're going to really leverage another feature the complector has, which is that each complector after the first adds +2 to the previous ones, and that continues to stack as long as you keep building them. Yeah, that's the thing. I keep getting stomped by corruptors. And the corruptors do enough damage to my lines and trenches and flamethrowers that I can't really answer without putting pressure on them. And at that point, I don't have an army. Besides squishy infantry that get mauled by everything else. So it is quite a puzzle. Yes, it's a stream. How you going, Curdy? We like to do it live. But I need to take some real estate early on. Got a couple of towers that we can leverage. It looks like the alien base is littered with civilian buildings. Laying that napalm, we love the smell of burning flesh. It means progress. A couple of deep strikes here to take out all of their production, try and slow down these early waves. It's not the multiplier yet. What I wanted to do is do an infantry only run at the standard 10 times difficulty, 4 times base. That was one of the requests, one of the early requests that I just didn't do. Stream's just started, we've been going for about 7 minutes. We want cranes, we need the cranes. One thing that you probably don't know is that this spawn here in particular has the most real estate because you can build backwards. All of the other spawns are nestled up right against the map edge and you have to build laterally. The flying buggers are the breakers in my opinion. Yes, the Cerberus are scary and yes, they will spearhead right through your line, but the wasps are what break you. And you can't do anything about them if you're not prepared. So that's why I like to bring BTRs in one of my reinforcement waves. That way they are a direct answer. We're going to make good use of the assault troops tonight with the brutes because you need the complector to even build assault troops. And there's one giant brute in the assault squad, so I figured that's okay. And that will be what gives us the 8 AT power in our brute span. Their autocannon is pretty decent, and they're very resilient. I just haven't made good use of them before. But I think if they're surrounded by a massive meat shield, they'll get some time to get off their damage. And I believe they have some kind of resistance to area of effect weapons, so they're less likely to get splattered by artillery. Or the worm tentacle, which I think is area of effect as well. We need power, I've neglected it, but we have... If we get 1 in, we'll still be in a surplus, so we'll go for 2. I've found that as I've played over the week, the AI got better with some patches, and yeah, they actually attack me in my buildings now, which they weren't doing before. And I've seen them actually completely change targets, like the wave will be going one direction and then they'll just be aggroed on something and they'll chase it down. Or they'll try to get around your line. I've seen them just completely change course to try and get around my defensive line. So I'm not sure how their targeting works yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. Yeah, we need like a Tesla trooper brute. Yeah, they are evolving, yeah. So many iterations of battles happening, they're learning. We need to get some flamethrowers down before the infantry spam starts. Got an early TRM out. And then we need AKs up stat, but we'll try and get a trench in as well. For those that don't know, you can build a trench anywhere in front of a civilian building that's garrisoned or a dreadnought that's deployed. You don't actually need to have the trench machine there. It's going to be a bit tight there on that corner. It's all part of the plan. The AA will come. If I'm too slow with the AA, I've got the BTRs. Their only role in this battle is to help us survive the early wasps. We really need a super weapon, yes. That's why I made that 30 howitzer battery, because I just wanted to be able to delete the entire map. G'day Sam Jones, you got recommended my channel, welcome. This is Dustfront, it's a demo for an RTS that we hope will come some soon, but I doubt it. Just a demo. But it plays very much like the old Command & Conquer. And I'm all about strategy games, RPG games, games with atmosphere. And I have a nice mix of content. Whether you are into history, I occasionally make some naval history videos. Lately I've focused really on streaming, because I found it to be way more social than just editing all night by myself. And I enjoy the interactions more. Kamikaze brutes, that's a good... I saw that on the Discord. Someone put they want to do some Helm Deep stuff with brutes. Yes, I'm an Aussie. Yeah, there's a lot of inspiration from Command & Conquer, but I feel like it plays very much like Supreme Commander. I guess it's the scale of it. Oh, that was you, was it, Bez? Yeah. I saw that. That was funny. And I totally agree. I endorse that message. G'day, Rolfalgon. How goes it? We've got a second trench machine in the queue. Going for some AA. Get behind the Anzac. Nothing wrong with that. Salute. Yes. Yeah. Totally. The first thing I thought was Tiberium's Sun. If it was made today, or there was another, or it was remastered even. Right, let's move our artillery up to the front. So we got flamethrowers down. I've got a couple of AA coming. Then the Serbs are coming. Yeah, they're on their way. We're getting, what is it, like 10 or 12 minutes into it. We'll be expecting a pretty hectic wave to arrive very shortly. They're going to probe us with infantry. Hello, welcome. Welcome, the brutes are the boys tonight. We're going to fight like orcs. An insurmountable tide of spores. The way I actually imagine this is, you guys know that movie, The Edge of Tomorrow? with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. How every time he goes to battle and dies, he wakes up and has to do it again. That's how I imagine it is for our brutes. I have put that sniper tactic to good use. I couldn't get it to work because I was aiming too far, and like you pointed out, the buildings are actually 3D, so height shortens the distance. Yeah, we even dedicated Sunday to the brutes. Yeah, it was a great movie. I loved it. And just watching Tom Cruise die so many times was just so fulfilling. Like that type of movie where you die and wake up again, have become a bit of a trope, but they did that one really well. Yeah, we're in for the wah tonight. We are low power. I need to fix that. The BTRs are on station, anticipating this wasp wave. So we'll only be using our allocation of vehicles. We won't build any more. I can build Brems, because Brems are kind of a necessity. I agree, yes. You can fall asleep to it. It might sound strange to a lot of people, but yeah, it's relaxing in its own chaotic way. The ultimate white noise. The reverberation of the howitzer batteries. Like bass drums. And that's what it is. Humans are attracted to bass. You can't get any more bassy than I don't even know what caliber howitzer they are. You could probably fit one of those tanks in it. There's the wasp. Got him, we clapped him. Thinking about an arsenal. Just one. We'll need it. Yeah, electricity's back online. I turned the music off for the early game so we could just enjoy the battle. But when the real fighting starts, I'll put the music back on. Hey. Don't you doing that? Flame him. We're very exposed on the right flank here, but we do have that skyscraper. It's just a little bit out of range. I'll put down an AK here. I have a feeling they've upgraded or buffed the supply depot too, because I believe it gives us more supplies now. It's much more useful. So getting down an early supply gets you an extra AK turret. In the main game, we can build the Tsar cannon. Oh, I saw that thing. 12 by 12 grid. I said in one of my descriptions that in this empire, dedication is measured in calibers. And I feel that is very accurate. As we close the door there on the left, so hopefully that will funnel everyone this way. And then the shape of that pipe network too will literally funnel them, I'm hoping. So we might have a lot of pressure on this right wing. I better get down a trench. And we also need more flamethrowers in that gap. It's crazy at max difficulty. We're just in the early stages, so we haven't seen a real quote-unquote wave. But it's coming, so that's why I like to put pressure on their production early to try and minimize how many Cerberus come barreling around that corner. We're all about the Krieg around here. And this pretty much is Krieg Simulator. We're going to have so many casualties. I'm hoping it sets a new record for casualties. And the best thing is, I guess we could just take all the biomass on the field and make more clones out of it. I was told the mutants were formerly human. That host corruptor there nestled up against the skyscraper. The line's pretty solid, but I do need some trench in my life. One more flamethrower. Waiting for money. And just trying to think how I want to lay out the complex, because it's going to be massive. We have Factorio, the clone complex. Suggest using snipers in BTRs to farm experience. That's a great tip. I use them in towers, but being able to extract them at short notice would be a great idea. Love the sharing of tactics, guys. I've continued to learn something every time I've played this game. Right, we've come a long way from that first stream. Where I thought I was tough fighting a 1x enemy. I haven't tried the ×2 or ×3 yet. I was tempted to do it for this run, but I also like to win. So I'm going to do it at 10x4 at 1x, and we're going to have to come up with a different way to describe the difficulty. We've got to give it like Doom names, like when you played the old school Castle Wolfenstein, and it was like, please mummy, I don't want any more. Yes, unfortunately, if they die in the BTR, they do die, but the same applies to the buildings. And I've found that the mutants are much more aggressive attacking units that are firing at them from the towers. In the first couple of days, they were largely ignoring buildings, unless it was a wasp or an artillery. But I'm finding now they will stop and start blasting the building if there's a garrison in it. Yeah, it was hide the pain, and then at 3x there is only pain. I feel like at ×3 it will become Doom, but you don't have a Doom guy. Yeah, it's coming. But luckily, very lucky on the map, we've got a massive channel here, so if we shore up the defenses, it should be pretty unbreakable until the brutes come out. It will scale up in difficulty as we endure. We're going to aim for that 2 to 3 hour mark if possible. Yeah, I think I'll start low just to get a feel for how resilient things are, because even at this difficulty, sometimes the Cerberus tanks so much, and if they're standing together, they all regenerate each other. So I feel like that will be the real puzzle. The wasps will still be easy to kill because they go down easy. These things will be absolute murderers at ×3. Yeah, we're going to move the MCV down because we've got a lot of southern real estate to work in this war. Your suggestion has been noted, and we'll add it to the order list. Turn those Molots around. We've got a weakness here on the left flank. One of the trenches has been closed and turned into a grave. Holy schmoly, they're coming. We need some storage. Our miners are doing nothing. I'll put a couple of warehouses down. But largely, I'm not going to push population cap very high. Because we're going to rely on the brutes. I will put down 5 foundries for the maximum durability buff for our units. But we are only going with 1 arsenal, unless I have some change left over in parts. Alright, we need a heavy airstrike, I think, just on this corner. Should I save it? Let's have a look and see what's over here. Nothing really juicy. There's one factory around somewhere. There it is. It's already started to spawn Cerberus. Quick, splat it. We took down a wasp and we've lost the interceptor. I've made it a habit to only ever use the howitzer as indirect fire support. Just because I feel that's what its real role is, but I can see the value of having it on the front line. And it might have to become a thing when I start playing a higher multiplier. Yeah, that's why I don't like the trenches so much. Yes, they should be destroyed, but it is so frustrating when a whole line of trenches collapses. They've got a bit of temporary health, so they can tank a few shots from the Cerberus now. When I first started playing it, they were getting mauled by the first salvo of Cerberus, and so I didn't see the value in building them. And I think the cost has also come down. So I can see there's active changes happening based on what is being seen in the gameplay. Low difficulty, trenches are great. I'm not going to use the radar this time around, just to save on parts. But that is a good tactic, yes, so you don't have to waste an interceptor. I know it's only 30 parts, but I'm going to need them all for my complector factory. The ultimate clone facility. Going to become the mad scientist of Dustfront. This is the closest I can come to that GLA general, Dr. Thrax, or whatever his name was. Let's come down here. I'm going to close up the line here. We don't need to keep extending to the right. Using patrol command to avoid artillery strikes. Great idea. We need to kill that. I didn't need all these worms. So I will pull in a bomber. The dread's already shooting, but I just want to get rid of the worms. Alright, the TRMs are hard at work. The line is starting to form. We'll have to fill it with bodies soon. If only to absorb aggro from the enemy long enough for the guns to kill them. We're going to destroy this here. Oh, we just overpressured those infantry. Sorry. Yes, you can. You can move it around slightly within a radius. Right up until 5 seconds before he drops bombs, you can change the target. So there is some precision to it. You can adjust at the last moment to try and hit those Serbs. And that can be a good way to stop them. I'm going to keep a few in reserve for that role. I do the same. That's where all of my other videos, I've made a heap of shorts, I've made a heap of like little cinematics to go along with the game because it's so glorious. And I really feel like Dawn of War and 40k Total War are gonna be a bit like, oh yeah, it's pretty good, I guess. When I play those, I would be like, but where's all the numbers? Where's all the chaos? Right, more cranes. We need to build Cure. If we're going to build a factory, we need a heap of cranes. Yeah, and I like that there's a little bit of macro with the buildings, like the way you place them, how many you have, that sort of thing. And holy moly, call in the bombers. That corner is lovely though, because we can just focus our firepower on it. If you want to kill the Serbs reliably, you need some form of firepower into their flank to get into their juicy sides. So setting up a not straight line is a good way to do that. I just really hope they don't push this until I'm ready for them. I'm hoping that if I build the facility left more than I do any more right, they won't push that bulwark there, and it should be able to persist for some time. TRM out of the way. Got a few loose dreads we need to put down. Get out of the way. There we go. These empty trenches, I need to get some bodies in them. Oh, don't delete. We learned that on the, I think the first stream that I played this. I went, oh, I'll just delete this storage, and it blew up my whole complector facility. That was like, oh, well, yeah, you don't delete warehouses. You make sure you place it right the first time. Measure once, place the building once. Let's set up a machine plant here, just so we can get some brems, if they're needed. Which they might be. Oh, and the material fabricators are explosive too. It's kept me engaged for now 10 days. And it's a demo. Or maybe I'm just strange, but yeah, this is my jam. Like the very first video I ever uploaded to YouTube was like a 3-minute video on how to speedrun a Command & Conquer level. So it's ironic that 6 years later, this is what I'm playing. I would love to see it this year. I would love it for Christmas. Dust-choked Christmas. More power. And we're not even building complectors yet. Oh dear. This power facility is going to be massive. So out of all of the weather events that can happen, I really hope it's not the orbital debris. And I'm kind of tempted to not start building the complector until we know what the weather's going to be. I'm notoriously bad at keeping air assets alive in all of the RTS games I play. Keeping them alive is a suggestion to me. I've had some glorious moments. The highlight was when I dropped rocket artillery on my airborne troops as they were doing a fast rope into the top of a building. The rocket artillery hit the helicopter and the helicopter landed on the building and killed everyone. The trench is not working for me there. They made a mess of my beautiful lines, so we're going to have scattered trenches everywhere. The acid is great, especially at high difficulty, because it just chews through the mutants that are on the field as well. And they usually have more than you do at that point. You don't have very much luck with your material fabs, do you, mate? I have come back to my base with half of it on fire once before. We lost like 3 material fabricators. Get closer to the front. You can now select map wide by selecting the little lock in the bottom left of the corner screen. Here they come. We're gonna need some help going with a napalm strike here to soften them. I need some storage. We're wasting precious resources. We'll put down one material fabricator. This is my insurance policy. Usually I use guns as an insurance policy, but this time we're actually taking insurance. This little kill box here is beautiful. It's making it much easier than it would have been. But it also means that I have the same problem trying to get to the mutant base. Now I'm not going to be sneaky so much with my brutes. We're going to meat grind them. We're going to meet them head on and just chew them up. And if I've got my maths right, we should outproduce them, believe it or not. Because the way the complector system works is that when you have no brutes, massive production, like almost instantaneously fill your cap. But when you have, say, half brutes, it slows right down, and when you've got full brutes, there's almost no production. So the more they die, the faster your production is. It's sort of like a supply and demand thing. It's Factorio in this game. And so while your cap might only be, say, 100 brutes, your actual global cap is like in the order of thousands. Like 3,000. That's your raw production capacity. It's crazy, actually. I did some Factorio maths. Okay. We've got a nice array of cranes here to help us build this facility. I need to start being frugal with the parts. We need to put down more foundries. We need the full 50% durability buff. Yeah, this is about the max zoom. You can go out slightly more. As someone that played Command & Conquer his whole life on a tiny monitor, this is completely fine for me, but I see why others don't like it. I saw the dev said he didn't want it to be like how Supreme Commander's TAC view is, where, you know, a blue dot attacks a red dot and then the red dot disappears. He wanted everyone to see the battles. And I think it adds urgency. You've got to keep looking around. And I like that pressure personally. The fact that the right side of the UI is see-through when you don't have anything selected also kind of helps give you some screen space. And you can remove the UI if you need to by pressing the I key. But it still keeps all your selection and all that sort of stuff, so you can still give orders and yeah. Let's put some music on now. Now the waves are coming. Yeah, it's not working for me. Just the way that those ones were placed, they're sort of not interacting with each other properly. Reinforcements are on the way. So are the mutants. Let's call in another interceptor to make sure that gate stays closed. And I think because everything is so grey, that might be a problem when you zoom out, but hey, I'm not a game dev. I would like to see the red accent turned up a bit brighter, but not overall, if that makes sense. I did some color grading with one of my videos, and I felt like it popped really well, especially the crystals you collect. Alright, here comes Cerberus. Jarvis, play us some tunes. The dev should let me be the Eva for English speakers. I would love to do that for you. Reinforcements have arrived. Oh, Cerberus charge, deleting the trenches. The furious volley of whatever they're shooting. It looks like they're shooting munitions. We need to stop a moment and bring in these dreads. This side feels pretty safe, but I'm not going to take that chance. I will do one of the corner trenches as a little pillbox. I won't need trenches because the brutes will be the wall. They're going to fight to the death, and then we're going to stack them up and use them as a wall. It's like a sandbag wall of bodies. Hey, that's my pleasure. I love it. I do this for fun. I'm glad you guys enjoy it too. We lost a dread. We're about to lose that. They're hitting us hard. I think we'll be fine. We'll be fine. But I've got a heavy bomber just to come in and clear this corner here where the corruptors are hiding. We don't have optimal placement for the dreads on this corner. The left flank isn't really able to get many effective shots in, but I'm pretty happy with the layout nonetheless. I think they're going to be tough to deal with as well. I felt like they're going to be like War of the Worlds. Again, the Tom Cruise one. Where they just blast you and the only thing they leave behind is dust and clothes. No, we're not going standard infantry, unfortunately. It's all about the brutes tonight. So besides call-ins, reinforcements from the MCV, I'm not going to fill it with conscious people. Just the brutes. Singular purpose. They even have a porthole for a mask so that they only see in one direction. Where can we put this 5th foundry in? Try and increase our durability, and then we'll start planning out our complex. Well, the calm after the storm. Yeah. Well, now there's a real storm coming. Yeah, even a change of music. Yes, I agree. I saw that at the cinemas when it came out, and I was like, holy shit! No thank you. I'll stay here in this reality. That'll get you out of bed. Trench must continue to be dug. Speaking of dug, I'm going to play Dig In, if I can get to it before the demo ends. That's all about trenches. Hoping to do that tomorrow. You've found a stream to watch. We'll be here for a couple of hours, I think. Thanks for joining us. We will be extremely sad when it goes away, so we'll make the most of it. I'll have a hole in my life. Yeah, I play quite aggressively with my air support at the start, and then when I can, I take that ground and then set up my beachhead. Then I needed real estate as well, so this complex facility is going to be massive, and I've kept a lot of space behind us. Keep the base fairly minimal. Got AT crews in the trenches there. I just have to fill up the pillbox when I get a moment. The lightning weather is probably the least dangerous one. It starts fires, that's about it. Does a bit of damage to your buildings. The occasional unit might get struck. I'd love to spawn on the battlefield. Commissar all the way. There is no retreat. The trench line's blown up again. Try and fix it. Patch that holes. Lost the flamethrower there on the corner, that's alright. We've got heaps of room there for the complectors, but we need heaps of power too. 320 power per complector. And I've got 4,000 parts worth to build. The satellite one is brutal. It'll take out half your base, because it always hits like your giant warehouse block or your material fabs. It doesn't tend to target the corners too much though, so if you're not well expanded when it hits, it usually affects the mutants more than you. But when it affects you, you know about it. Doesn't help the lightning is blasting the trenches too. Yeah, I'd like to see some refinement to the trench building, but because the game is tile based, I guess that's something we might have to get used to. Alright, will this be power? We've run out of space here, that's the edge of the map. We'll still build our power plants there. The complectors, where am I going to put those? I think we're going to use the MCV to free up some land. We've got heaps of space, but we need more than this. So let's bring the TRM down. We'll build another crane. And then I might bring the MCV south. There's a lot of space there where those civilian buildings are. We might need to blow those up. Get rid of these refineries. They're taking up space. Blow up the ruins. And I want it to look good too, so we're not going to place it down just anywhere. And I just love that I can be, you know, Factorio base building while this is raging on the front line. I know Factorio can be pretty crazy when the hordes got big, but, you know, it wasn't this scary. I do upgrade dreadnoughts, but I only use them in a battery. So I'll build, say, 5 dreadnoughts and then upgrade them to howitzers and then use them in the back of the base, keep them safe. But like I was saying before, I feel like they would be quite useful on the front line on the higher multipliers, the ×2 and ×3, because you need that accurate heavy hitting power to take out those massively buffed Cerberus. Fill the trenches. They are totally not graves, I promise. Try and get in another flamethrower here. And that's why I'm really hoping that when the strategy map happens, like, if I build this base, right, and then we move to another sector, will this base be the thing that fuels my war engine in the next place? So it might prompt us to build expansive, you know, well-resourced bases before we move on. That's all just speculation, by the way. I'm not privy to any actual mechanics. Except on those rare occasions where they were turned into giant assault guns to be used at point blank. You know, when, like, the panic economy, and you're like, what guns do we have? I don't know, we got this old howitzer, alright, slap it on a truck and let's go. We'll worry about the ammo when we get there. Hopefully these 40-year-old high explosive rounds work against armor. Yeah, the clones will begin shortly. We need to have that power infrastructure. The 5 foundries able to pump out the power generators faster. Yeah, you watch what we're about to do, boy. We're gonna power those generators. I've got a little design that I've come up with that minimizes the amount of buildings I have to build and maximizes production and storage. If you put a power generator next to a complector, it makes them faster to produce. If you put storages, it gives them a higher brute cap. They can have up to 3 buildings. So the little layout that I will do will maximize all the connections between the complectors, but minimize the amount of infrastructure we have to build to do that. The Clone Wars have begun. I can't do the Yoda voice, so I'll leave that up to you. Begun the Clone Wars have. Has, yeah. Alright, so we want power. We can have them fairly far away from the complector, but I need it to be tight, but not tie up where the brutes spawn from. So I think this will work. We want... No, that's too close, I think. You see the lines there denote the connection. I think I counted those right. Oh no, it won't fit. Shit. You can't cancel that, so I'm going to have to blow it up. I'll bring a howitzer down to destroy the ruin. A couple of men. A couple of guns. We're on demolition duty, guys. I made a mess already. Once we get the first layout down, I'll be able to just copy it. Scale it up. The factory must grow. We have corruptors feeling us up. Oh, that was only a power plant. Don't worry. That's why I was careful with the complectors. Move out of the way. Yeah, we're laundering. Keep all these parts for something else. That's typical. Can I make it work without having to destroy it? Oh, it might fit. Alright, better safe than sorry. Corruptors, they've got their wiggly things out again, Dad. I'm only doing it this way so we can justify having the ammo. You know that whole rule that if you don't shoot it, you got to give it back? Yeah, well, we're shooting it. I got PTSD from pressing delete. Yes, I am supposed to just leave the mistake behind as a reminder and a shame. We don't have the real estate today, unfortunately. It's going to take up about 40 to 50% of the base, maybe more. That's why we need all these cranes to get it built at a reasonable time. Oh, they broke my corner. Wasn't very nice of them. I need it to be 3 connections to power because they're the ones we have least of in this arrangement. And then we spam the storages. I think it's safest to build from the south first. Keep it in line with the building. A second storage. Yeah, I think that's right. Yep. Then I need another power plant. Just trying to measure it. We can go further south, so I might move the MCV. Was it measure twice, cut once? Well, sorry, Dad, I messed that up. Have faith. Have faith. We don't need to chase them down. This is a war of attrition. So we get the factory built, and we concern ourselves with the destruction of mutants later. Yep, so it'll be 2 storage, 1 power, 2 storage, 1 power, like that, up the line. Until we run out of space, and then we'll just replicate it next door. Sadly, there's no copy-paste feature for the entire layout. Measures 7 times, yeah. You don't want your dad to backhand you. I come from that era, by the way. Character building. Would rotating the power plants help us space-wise? No, it would not. The first brutes are on the wall. On the wall, you say? They are the wall. Let's go. So there's like 5 guys that are being cloned. What is that? There's 7 in a unit. So 7 dudes went to the pub one day, and when they woke up, they were in a clone facility. And that's the brutes. They really regret going to that pub. Now you watch, it'll work. It'll work. This is better, trust me. Each of the complectors will have 3 connections, and I will be able to minimize the amount of buildings that I build by min-maxing how many connections the infrastructure buildings have. Each of the infrastructure buildings will have 6 connections. Yeah, the pub your bows. That's one hell of a bucks party they went to. I reckon we'll get it done. G'day NX, how are you mate? Good to see you. Yeah, we've been grinding the dust. We need to move this building. Strategic relocation. What is it called when the government takes back your property? I can't remember the name. Oh, the howitzer nearly took out a storage. That would have been a court-martial. Holy crap. Those explode violently. Alright. Batch number 2 is out. Not sure what happened to batch number 1. Now our brutes retain their consciousness when they wake up, so that they learn from their mistakes. That's why it's hell on earth for those guys that went to the pub. Like that Tom Cruise movie, they're retaining their consciousness every time they wake up in the vat. We want smart brutes. You just got married. Congratulations on the wedding, mate. I remember you saying you were planning it, and now it's done. It's the greatest day of my life. Not your wedding, my wedding. Promise I wasn't in the walls. That would have been hilarious. That would have been a viral clip if I had been like, "Hey guys, look at this amazing clone facility." Boom. Oops. All the requisition lost. I want smart clones. How do you reckon they went in Star Wars? They learned. They were smart. And some were smarter than the average bear. It's called democracy, yeah. It has a different name depending on what kind of regime you live under. Infinite suffering, infinite learning, infinite war, yes. These guys will never pick up another vodka bottle. I'm glad that you liking it, mate. For the last 6 years, I've tried to make my channel all about that old school vibe, both in movies and games. I've searched for the golden era for a long time. I try to bring that in everything that I do. So I'm glad you're enjoying it, mate. And I'm having a real blast. No pun intended. I wish I had insider information. I am actually just a dude who woke up and went, damn, I really want to play Dustfront. And I went, hey guy, can I play it? And he went, yeah, sure. I'm like, alright, thanks. But I'm hoping now that I will be in the loop. And if I hear anything, you can be sure that I'll let you guys know. I've been eagerly awaiting the demo for Dig In, right? Like, that was what I was most pumped for. And then I was excited for this, but I was going to play Dig In, and then I started playing this, and Yeah, it's been 10 days. 10 days. Oh, you won't catch me VTubing. If you're going to see my face, it'll be the real face. I'm just too poor for a camera. And it also, if I get a camera, it means that I have to show my face on at work. Screw that. So the factory is growing. We've got enemy at the gates. The neighbors have got that amphetamine jaw. I haven't actually played Kenshi before. Would you recommend it, would you? Kenshi's like this, is it? Yes, 3 is the maximum you can attach to a complector, but the support buildings can have like unlimited connections. As many as you can fit. So I tested it, and you can fit 7 complectors around a barracks without it affecting the exit of the barracks. And that gives you a 35% discount on troops. Yeah, that's right. The world is not ready for my Magos eye. My wife says I'm like a computer. She has better conversations with Google these days. What are the big units on the mutant side? Welcome to your first glimpse of the Cerberus. Alright, that's the first facility complete. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 aside. We've got 12 complectors. And you'll notice now that our cap is 45 brutes. Because each one that we build adds +2 to every building that already exists. So the very first complector that you place down will have the largest cap. And that's the one that will always be producing. So you want that one closest to the front line. The ones that we build last will rarely ever actually produce a clone. Unless all of our clones die. They're like the backup production, supply and demand kind of thing. But if I've got my maths right, we should get about 120 to 130 brutes out. I always saw myself as more of a Medusa guy, to be honest. Don't ask me why, just like their colours. Certainly not Mars. Certainly not Mars. The first augmentation the guys from Mars get is a stick in their ass. They're from Queensland or Tasmania. Well, I'm going to take offense to that. I may or may not be from one of those states. Not really, I'm not offended. I've been called a mutant my whole life. By the mainlanders. I was teacher's pet, mate. I was the math king. Not really. But my confidence was strong. I remember my report card was like, he's very keen. That's about it. Yes. Yeah, it is. I grew up on a little island. that was part of an island that was part of a bigger island. It's islandception around here. That would be cool, yeah, like if there was some like blue and red zones like in Tiberium Sun, where there's the dust and then there's the, you know, some kind of semblance of civilization, even if it is just highly industrialized. But you see the amount of pollution coming out of these generators, I highly doubt it. You know what I thought? The first thing I thought when I saw this color screen was Schindler's List. And how there's no color in that movie until specific scenes where red is illustrated. Yes. Alrighty. Clone facility 1.5. Can have an extra generator on the top. That's cool. It's probably the cleanest water in Australia, though, to be honest. Tasmania's got great water. I guess that's my way of saying my shit doesn't stink. Yeah, I think that's the only safe place. I wonder if the mutants are up there too. Are we even on Earth? We could very well be just on one planet in the middle of a giant empire. Yeah, if a Tanya or a Commando got in here right now, I'd know about it. It got the cleanest roadkill too, yeah. The brutes are just holding the line for us while I get the rest of the facility up. We've still got 2,000 parts to spend. Need to find a place for more power plants. That's cool, they're just there as the meat wall. They don't need to have a mission right now. The same way you do. With my knuckles. I'm feeling cheeky tonight. Because I know I've got the winning plan. Roffelgon's one of my members. I love him. He's great. He's a hard-working man. And I'm sure he loves a bit of banter too. You clench. You hold on. You must ride a motorbike, do you? It seems to be working. Not much pressure on the front line when there's just a constant green stream. You look on the minimap, there's a line of green just heading to death. You can't... They're already in attack mode. The key is to not put the rally point through enemy territory, but just right in front of it. And when they get there, they'll switch to their aggressive mode, and then they'll start attacking everything and chasing it down. So you can leave them like that. There's no loss there. If this was standard infantry, you wouldn't want to do it. But see, as they arrive here now, they are switching to aggressive and it's just attacking everything. And they'll just keep chasing it down. It's just if the rally point is too deep into enemy territory, they will tend to just want to get to their objective first. It's gonna work. And you wait. Like, our cap will be very high. And you'll see that if we lose massive waves of brutes, that the production will pick up and then there'll just be a huge wave leave the base. That's okay, Fenris. We're all learning. It has been requested that we could set attack move orders from production buildings though, so you can get that Supreme Commander auto attack route and then worry about other things. Because when you've got Material Fabricator run, you can just churn out units unlimited. The same way you do with Brutes. The difference here is I will always pretty much have money now, and I won't need much supply. We've lost power. We need power. Need a solid power bank over here as we wait for the money to store up. And because we're slapping down so many storage as well, we're going to have quite a high cap for material. No, it's not like Tiberium, it does not replenish. So you need to find a way to get auto resources. You can do that by taking the points on the map. There are 3 of them on the mini-map. You can see the red ring. We need to spot a plane and to stop any wasps that might be on the way. Or you can build a material fabricator, but it costs you the special resource parts, which is the red cog. I don't know if I should be ashamed or not, but I have now 40 hours in the game. In the demo. It's crazy. Crazy. Is that some kind of record for demos? Like, I don't think I've ever played a demo for that long. Not in this generation, anyway. Maybe when I was a kid. Crush, Kill, and Destroy. That was a great game. One of the OGs. I think that was on console. That's where I played KK&D. G'day Fletcher, how you going, mate? And it's only around for a few more days, so I'm just getting my money's worth. I have been known to indulge at the free buffet. You played the Sulfur demo for 600 hours. Well, they're great. There's a precedent for it then. Great. I will say that about 10 hours of it was just playing games to make shorts though. So yeah. I played about 30 hours properly. 10 hours of it was just derping around testing base builds and things like that. Or deliberately getting my base overrun so I could film it. I'm glad to have you, Fletcher, mate. Ooh, okay, I've just noticed something. The mutants will gain veterancy from the deaths of our mutants. Our brutes. They're not mutants, they're good boys. Well, I read that he expected people to play it for 2 hours and then be like, yeah, that was good, alright, bye. He mustn't know RTS players. I remember one of the longest games I ever played was Supreme Commander, and it was like a good 12 or 14 hours against friends. Are you getting spammed with ads, are you? Sorry. Don't have much control over those. If it makes you feel better, it helps me keep the power on these complectors. When I made the thumbnail for the video, I edited them slightly to make them look like a bear, because I felt like they looked like polar bears. So I took some creative liberty with that. There is no look, I said this before on a previous stream. Brutes don't have health cover. That's what the Vats for. They just wake up later. You know, like, another way to put it, I guess, the way I imagine it is, you know the original Men in Black, where the guy gets his head blown off and then he grows it back and he's like, you don't have any idea how much that stings? That guy. And that's how I imagine my brutes. He gets completely gibbed and then he grows back. You asshole. Universe at War. Was that the one with the giant mech walking robots on one faction and the humans on the other? I think that might be what it is. Okay, the mutants are thinking about going a different way. What's happening here? That's exactly right. Or the movie Elysium, where the guy gets hit with a frag grenade and then they grow him a new head. And he's standing there looking at himself in the mirror like, holy shit, bruh. The complectors are great. They have just enough mass because the brutes have 1400 health and resistance to fire, so they're quite sturdy. Like, the rate they're dying is not indicative of just how sturdy they are compared to standard infantry. Yeah, well, I remember playing that at an internet cafe, because I used to go to them all the time, like a gamer cafe, because they had good PCs and I did not. So I'd go and play Battlefield 1942 and Battlefield whatever one was out after that. I do, like, on the weekends we do a 24-hour lock-in where you just go there and play games until your stamina ran out. And that was one of them. I think a lot. So even when I'm not playing, I'm thinking about this, like, what can I do to do better at it? It's probably not very functional. Yes, Bad Company 2, yes. It's a game that I forgot about, and then a few years ago I was trying to remember the name of it, and I went on like one of those Reddit searches where you're like, do you know the game that had that thing? Yeah, I did that. But my memories of it were much better than the actual gameplay when I went back to it years later. The Battle of Wake Island in Battlefield 1942, well, I will never forget that. That map was amazing, I loved it. You could be damn certain that if there was a zero in the air, it was going to crash into you. Have I played Earth 2050? No, I haven't. It's strangely familiar though, is it like Anno, but space? Collectors, slap them in. Still got $1,100 of parts, not dollars, cogs. Yeah, that's right. All the VAC bans on every PC. I think that's why they stopped doing those. They got banned because they're just using pirated copies. Earth 2050 is an RTS where you design your units. Okay. 1943, yeah, that was that was a remake, wasn't it? That came out when Battlefield 2 came out, I think, or Battlefield 3 rather. We need more power, more power. So basically, for every complector you put down, you need like one power plant with an additional generator plus a little bit more. Right, let's get serious about using the brutes efficiently now that we're almost up to parity with the power. No, it can't. So each building will have an individual limit, but what we're going for here is a production cap rather than raw production itself. So far, the original complector has a cap of 80, but these ones here will have very low caps. But that's fine because that's our production buffer. If all those guys were to drop dead now, all the complectors would pump them out almost instantly. And I think we'll build one more. So move the MCV across. Well, the cat girls don't want to fight, do they? The tardigrades, yeah. Little tardigrades, that's a great way to describe them. Yeah, I believe that was added recently. It's a good little feature, but it's also a pain in the ass when you accidentally select all your dreads and tell them to go somewhere. I'm sure I'll make that mistake at some point. They're our Urbies. It's like Plants vs. Zombies, but mutants versus mild mutants. Fight your way out. Seek glory. We still need more power. I've completely reamed the economy though. And our collectors are going very far. We only have one material fabricator and it's only 5 per second. It's a pretty solid stream of brutes though. Not bad, not bad. What have we got there? We've got 33 brutes on the front and still got a line of them on their way. Go brutes, go! Here we are at the complector facility. I think it's... We can afford 10 more buildings. 11. But that's not enough to build... Yes, it is. It is. I can't destroy that warehouse without everything going boom. But fortunately, I can fit it in. Oh, good. Oh, they're actually holding that zone. We're earning a bit of money. An extra 5 per second from holding that zone. For the war! I would scream, but my kids are asleep. Help me buy soundproofing by hitting subscribe. No, you can completely play with infantry if you want, and elite infantry. We've done that. We did that with the no parts run. We did infantry and AT soldiers with BTRs and armored cars, and it was pretty decent. It took a while. It was a grind with lots of losses, but that seems to be my MO in this game. I've been getting lots of comments saying, oh, I like to preserve my forces, and I'm like, you missed the whole point. If you're going to let me field 1,000 men, I want to see 1,000 men fall. We can still get more of them, and we shall. We've got another row of infrastructure to build, and then enough there to build one more row of complectors. I did say no parts was impossible, and then we went and did it. I also think that no parts, no reinforcements, no strike group is impossible, but maybe we'll do that too. No, we're still 10 difficulty, 4 base size. Yeah, it's 100 parts, and I spent that on 2 cranes. I could have spent it on a foundry to get tanks out. I could have spent it on an arsenal to get something else out, but I chose to build cranes because I felt that in the early game you just need the base up. Yeah, the flyers are very good if they get behind your back line. And the worst thing about the Cerberus and the mutant collector is that once their corpse is active, they start spawning flies. So if they break through your line but die, it can actually still be a catastrophe, because if you don't have anti-infantry weapons, you're in a lot of trouble. Try writing something. Yeah, I've only been able to destroy the grid. I haven't been able to beat with any finesse. I am going to try and use the Molots though with a sniper squad maybe. They can also do map-wide artillery barrages. Do you really have forever if you can't, like if you run out of resources? In my experience, the mutants are quite aggressive taking all the resources on the map. Like the one shot that I made, I had literally 30 collectors break through my lines that were previously holding off everything else as they came for the last little patch of ore. Yes, this is on Steam. The demo is on Steam for another 5 days or so. Well, if you've got the opportunity, jump on and play. It is free to play the demo, and the demo has heaps of replayability. We've played it all week. I literally cleared my schedule. Sorry, guys. Been endless war. It's been endless war since that Warhammer trailer dropped. Then if they bring out like a Space Marine movie or something soon, that would be nice, just to top it all off. I know, right? My old trick used to be to have the game on a PC and then just disconnect it from the internet, and it would play Steam offline for a few days extra. I'm not sure if that works anymore. It really depends on how you're feeling, and I like that there are a number of ways to solve the battle. And everyone has their own opinion on what works for them. Our mass casualty event seems to be working. Well, like I said, there's been like stealth patches nearly every day to this, which has changed little things. And I'm sure seeing that your game is in the top wish list, then that would be quite inspiring. Motivating. That's the end of the complectors. It wouldn't be efficient to build anymore unless I could build a whole bank. So we'll add in the power to get them up and running. And then we'll have a look at the finished product. And the game looks way better than it did in those early footage that I saw. That's why I was only kind of excited when I saw the demo was coming out. Because I remembered what I'd seen about the game, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's got potential. But I think the art looks great. the Dust Front RTS demo. The demo and the game itself are separate on this Steam page. I think I left a link in the description. I should have. I suggest checking there. Yeah, there should be it's a Steam thing, yeah. We're going to bring out the assault squads, which have a large brute, and you can only build an assault squad if you have a complector. So I feel like that's lore appropriate for our run tonight. This is the facility. It looks like our maximum available brutes on the field at any one time are 124. The oldest complectors will produce the fastest and will continue to produce all the time. The newest ones will not, but they will be storing their clone ready for deployment, if that makes sense. So, if I've done the maths right, we should always have at least 40 or 50 brutes on the front line while the rest are coming. And it doesn't matter how many die, because our facility should pick up the slack as the cap decreases. That very last one, I know, we were one square out. But aside from that, yeah, this is working. And the ones up the back of the base, like I said, they will rarely... Whoops, I pressed tutorial. It will rarely ever produce unless we have, you know, a collapse of our lines, and then they will work overtime to pump out. And I feel like that's the easiest way to scale it up. No units get caught, every complector gets a buff, and they're all the buffs that matter. I would argue that the barracks buff is the weakest, and that you should only use it if you're going to focus on making a barracks cheaper, rather than tacking it onto the side. And it looks like our full production, this will be a good test. Like, they're all going to get mauled by these Cerberus, but it should just continue. And the more that collapse, you'll start to see an increase in the green line as it moves out. And once we add some assault squads to these brutes, I think we'll start trading really well. But now I guess it's time to sit back and watch the carnage. We've done the hard work. We just need to make sure our lines don't collapse, and we advance as needed to support the brutes. No, brutes don't count on your supply, that's the power of them. Corruptors kill infantry fast, but they don't kill assault squads fast. That's the one counter to them. So that whole line collapsed, but already the stream is on its way, and you can see that the back facility have released a whole line as well. So yeah, this is going to work. It might take a while, but it's going to work. At the moment, they're just all running to their deaths. That's fine with me. I'm just pressure testing the production. There we go, solid stream. So our friends that went to the pub that night and woke up in a cloning vat are now having multiple deaths. They've got a million consciousnesses screaming around the battlefield. It's the ultimate version of schizophrenia. There will be no tactics, except the grind. This is how you test a doctrine. The beauty here is that Cerberus don't want to move until they've killed all the brutes, but the brutes won't stop coming. And the more brutes you lose, the faster your cooldowns charge up. Weaponized schizophrenia, that's a good one. It's like the old British Navy, Royal Navy. when they used to press gang you. The ultimate press gang. Get in the vat. We need your DNA. And your consciousness. It's ground mince day, not groundhog. Yeah, so good. Good. As we reach, it should just stay at 90. So I'm letting them store up. As I said, when we get towards the top of the cap, production slows down. And each facility turns off one by one. But it still grows the next brute. And so as soon as it's able to deploy it, it will. So if I think the maths is that our global cap is somewhere around 3,000 or 4,000 brutes. And you work that out by adding all of those individual unit caps together on the complector. Like a Fibonacci sequence, you add them up. And because of all the deaths, look at how many heavy bombers we've got. It seems to be that units you lose also charge up. We're going to go wide and try and do some damage. But that does leave all the pressure on the line, so hopefully it can hold. Oh, because I'm trying to boost the production and storage of the complectors, I had to build storages, which the natural side product of that is to increase our material cap, and I won't ever need that money. But eventually I'm going to build some barracks, and we're going to start spamming assault squads to go with the brutes. The assault squad has a giant brute in it, so I feel like that's allowed. Alright, they're going wide. What are these guys doing? Join the mob. Here we go. That's the full stack almost. Yeah, 124 squads of brutes. They're all out. That's the full force. And we've been hit by a wasp wave. Oh, at the worst possible time. We do have AKs, but not enough. We've lost 2 dreads. Holy shit, that was bad timing. They always attack you with wasps when you're doing something like that. Not that the brutes could have done anything about it, but I was watching what they were doing. This usually happens to me when I move my dreads. We're going to need some help here with an interceptor. I've been spending it all on heavy bombs. Yeah, I did that with the Helm and Gorst and the zombies. And you just do zombies, and the zombies cannot be killed because they regenerate faster than you can damage them with Helm and Gorst. But the Skaven and the Skaven slaves run, just having... What I used to do is have 3 armies of Skaven slaves and 1 army of Storm Vermin, and just throw away the clan rats. Throw them away, keep throwing them away. And what you could do is... what is it? Oh, that's right. You give control of one of your Skaven slave armies to the AI, or even both, and you can actually field 4 armies on the battlefield. That's in Total War Warhammer. So what you do when you've got those trash armies, you bring them in under the control of the AI, because they're trash, you don't care. And you control your elite forces, and there's just crap everywhere. I hope your PC can handle it. That works really well as Helm and Gorst, because you'd have, 4 stacks of zombies on the map. 2 of them are AI controlled, with a vampire just spamming spells everywhere. And our line is collapsing as I talk about a totally different game. We're trying to get the Brems out, got Corruptors everywhere, but we're doing a simultaneous attack here on their production. Alright, back on track. Back on task. Get the kill. That was expensive for us supply-wise. Our free dreadnoughts with the strike force will now cost us supply when we resurrect them. Oh, don't blow it up, don't blow it up, don't blow it up. Yeah, not the bees. Oh yeah, they blew up the fuel canisters in an attempt to stop our brutes. They are flame resistant, but they're not immune. So that attack has collapsed, but they did some decent damage to the production facilities. If I had have actually been able to micro them, they would have done a better job, but this was going on. So, back on the wall. And look, we've got a whole army again. Here we go. That was another pressure test. How many have we got? We've got 76. It's half the cap already made. Start this strategic bombing campaign. Just make sure they're fixing everything. Guns on the left here are not seeing any action. I just know that if I move them, they're going to start streaming down the left side of our base, so I'll keep them where they are. They didn't do nothing, they killed a factory. They will learn something from their experience, and they'll be back. I'm just going to love to see the casualty numbers at the end of this. Have faith in the brute. The brutes need faith to be successful. They don't know much else. Bomber down. Deep strike. Get that guy while he's looking up in the sky. Got a wasp circling. Oh, let's get the brutes in this city here. They're not usually a good garrison, but they'll still live longer if they're in the buildings. If we just spam them all into that city, the mutants will have to dig them out. And we haven't spent anything on units, except Brems. I would say that's efficient, wouldn't you? My balance sheet's going to look great. It would be funny if at the end it's like the cost of the units you've lost is 0. Here we go. Now we've got some mass. And I've thrown some infantry in there that must have... I've just accidentally selected the entire army, which is our howitzers and stuff as well, but that's alright. It seems like most of the forces on the front line. Yeah, early game I would do Skaven Slaves, majority, and then transition to Clan Rats a bit later when they start building proper armies, or Doom stacks themselves. And then it's all about the Warp Lightning. Warp Lightning, the most OP spell in the game. No, I do 1 reactor and 2 storage to increase the cap of the complector by 20. Three reactors on a complector makes it heaps faster, but you've got a very small cap. Adding 2 storage gives you 10 each, which makes small complector facilities quite worth it. Theoretically, you could have 3 storage around a complector for a cap of, I believe, 40 with 1, but it's not worth it because they're very slow. So I'm balancing a middle ground between speed and supply. And so, yeah, since the changes, well, not recent changes, but since the changes in cavalry mass and how they interact with the charge, it's hilarious to see a million clan rats actually go flying. And the cavalry, oh, we have been encircled, but it matters not. We're going to regroup. I think we'll have it done within the hour. Just need to make sure I've got Brems ready. I was considering building 1 more Dreadnought with my parts, but I think I'll spend it on warehouses. I think we've got enough Dreadnoughts firepower here. Only part of the line has been engaged. We did lose 1, it looks like. Yeah, basically an immune system, yeah. That's what we are. You want to be all, like, foreign and stuff? We're gonna, like, destroy you. In that case, we were destroyed by the bacteria. This strategy will not only work, it'll be highly successful once I can get some pushback here. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get him. Get up! I think it takes 24 brutes to take down a Cerberus. So I can take down 5. And they just can't shoot us fast enough. Like, they do heaps of damage, but there's just too many models to target. So we're taking advantage of their single unit targeting. It's the flies. The flies! Yeah, I like the way the production's done, so you can't be exponential with it. But you can still use their production ability to good effect. You shoot enough rifles at something, it's gonna die. Las guns. Go, guard, go, this is Krieg. Nine units in that particular skyscraper, it's a one that can hold it. The flamethrower Cerberus, yes, we would be cooked. But the brutes are 40% fire resistant, so they're actually less cooked than normal infantry. And they actually pair well with the MLRS. Well, not really, but they just don't suffer as much friendly fire. We're going to try and get to this city. Try and isolate this production base, and then push up to that city and garrison the hell out of it and make them dig us out. Normally you're like, oh no, I've got to repair the civilian buildings because my infantry are going to die. We don't care. Topple the building. Yes, we are. This is production efficiency versus, you know, biology. Biology has potential for exponential growth, but it's unplanned. Definitely a Judge Dredd megacity. The view's not so great though. Just keep pushing, pushing, pushing. I think we're going to be repelled this case before the next wave arrives, but that's okay. We're going to start adding some spotters in. Just 2. Try and see if I can get an artillery barrage into this facility. And with so many brutes around, we will probably be able to hide the snipers quite well. A little bit of fire support for them, but don't get used to it. We can do it. Just put your rifles into it. Yes, yes. This is what we want to see. This brings me back to when the first few times I played my brother in Red Alert and I just conscripted him to death. And he never played me again.
He's like, how'd you get so many men? That's not fair.
It's totally fair, bro.
He's like, I can't even click that fast.
I'm like, yeah, well, you better start clicking. Right, that works. Confirmed. Stop now, please. When they're in that mode, it seems like they stay deployed. Oh, tentacles are a problem. I lost count after the first brute came off the production line. We lost count at 1. It's an investment. I've spent 80 parts per building, so I want to get my value out of them. Hey, hey! This is the most, I think, chaotic fighting we've done. When we did the no parts run, it was lots of kiting and running and all that. Air support. Yeah, it will tell us the casualty list. And I have a feeling ours will be cheaper than the enemy's. Yeah, these guys are just waking up in the clone vat and having another go. They're just paying off their debt. Every time we clone them, it costs them $100. Or whatever the currency is in the Empire. We're not making much ground because we're just ramming ourselves up the middle. I want to get to that city and just fill it with brutes. But we might try and get this wing here that's trying to encircle us. And so our guns on the front line haven't seen much action. These mutants here are veterans after slaughtering hundreds of brutes. So when I do these builds, I try not to spend all of my parts on the one thing, and all of them are reasonable amount of part spends, and still being able to defend yourself and field a proper army and all that sort of stuff. We could have spent even more, but I don't think we need to. Though there is some pushback here. Just holding this zone is earning us money, but we should start spending it. And I just don't think they have enough punch, so I'm going to start adding assault squads very shortly. And I think we'll see a drastic increase in our efficiency. Just having a little bit of armor piercing will help a lot. Yes, I did know that. When I did the max difficulty Rebel run, that's how I won it. Capture a bunch of their assault trucks because they are awesome against their own units. So if you get 5 or 6 assault trucks, you can do a serious attack. The problem is trying to keep them not destroyed when your dreadnoughts are just blasting everything. Alright, we've got our next wave. Wave number 1,000,005. Here's the assault troopers. The big brutes. The big one. They look like Tesla troopers, those guys. Thanks very much for the sub, mate. Welcome to the stream. Danger close there with the dreadnought fire. Focusing fire on that veteran mutant. Exploding in a cloud of red and disgusting gore. Wasp here, it's just like, normally he's the one swarming, but we've got the swarm. We're encircled, but that's exactly what we want. The faster they die, the faster they are made. Yeah, they're killing so many of our brutes, they're actually leveling up. That's a side of the coin I did not expect. Or I should have expected it, but I didn't anticipate it. Just keep shooting. You want to live forever? See, the assault squads are making short work of the medium-sized mutants. And he's just well masked out the back. We've got a veteran level already. Got a chevron on this guy. No obvious change to his stats. We've got the next batch. We're treating these like clones as well. We've got heaps of money. Why not spend it? Yeah, at some point I've made money because we will have lost more than we've spent. I don't know what I mean when I say that, but you do. The longer the game goes, the better it is for us, I guess. Because I don't need money. It's just a decoration. They are achieving stuff. It's slow, it's gradual, but those bases are now dead. This ring here is ours, so we're making money off this territory once I get the guys back inside it. And that's pretty much going to pay for the assault troopers to keep coming out as well. It really does, I agree. It's a blend of all the best things, I think. And I hope that the strategy layer offers just as much complexity and nuance to its gameplay. And I've really tried to rack my brain as to the different ways that we could play this game. I think we've already proved that there are some viable different strategies. And so I guess that officially makes it a strategy game. There's not just one way to do this. No mouse, no keyboard challenge. No monitor. Just plug it straight into my ocular implant. Yeah, for example, on the unit card for the Assault Trooper, it says that you need to have armored infantry, so maybe that is something. Like, maybe this particular army that we're playing is a particular build, and that would be really cool. In the same way that you would choose a doctrine when you played Command & Conquer General's 0 Hour, by choosing a different general. And, you know, like, I envisioned that how we're playing tonight is like the mad scientist build. Just going all in on the biological experiments, but not skirting so low as to become a mutant ourselves. Pulling back those Molochs. The Brutes are very, very good at drawing aggro from the Cerberus. I will say that. They would much prefer to shoot those than attack our base. Yeah, we're basically playing China Infantry General, or we're playing as Yuri with his clone Vats. Or if you didn't play Yuri's Revenge, just standard Red Alert 2 Soviet. Every unit you built, you got one for free. Yeah, it didn't take itself, although I would say that active war and active aggression were pretty good too. I think that was around the same time or just after. And then World in Conflict. But after that, yeah, it was very much closing of a chapter. It was Monty Python's, yes. No big studio would make a game like that today, I don't think. It's kind of like our Tropic Thunder for RTS. If you haven't seen the movie Tropic Thunder, I highly recommend it. It's a parody of a parody of a parody. I'm Malcolm Granger, the Air Force General. The super weapon general that was allowed to build all of them. We were allowed to build more than one or something like that. I can't remember her niche. Did she have lasers? Oh, that's right. I'm hoping we get something similar to the Scud Storm. I will build 1 million of those facilities if they let me. Yes, I'm just a dude playing a dude. This guy's just another dude. And again, Tom Cruise has been the theme of this stream, but when Tom Cruise's character in that movie was just amazing. Fucking funny bastard. I will shit in your mouth. Oh dear. I really, really hope so. I want to go all mutant. I reckon it'll be rage-inducing to try and deal with the Dreadnoughts in number. You know I'm just going to go all Cerberus and Worms. Yeah, well, I've actually already mentioned the ballistic missiles and the humility and the shooting down of helicopters. I reckon he should. I really enjoy. And you know what? I don't know why, but I didn't see him, if that makes sense. I didn't realize it was Tom Cruise until about, I don't know, halfway into the movie when he did something that was just classic body language, and I went, holy shit. Which, yeah, it was a great movie. I loved it. One of the classics. Graduated. It was when he started dancing. I It's like, oh my god, the couch dance again. So we're pinned on this corner as I expected, but we are making progress into their base every time the wave subsides. We were speculating today because the support call-ins are launched from what seems to be air bases, and they have a range of 3 or 4 sectors. So I think that's strategic map range. And I think that you won't be able to build frontline airfields. It just doesn't make sense in the terms of the scale and how these battles are. Like, you don't build an airfield next to your trench line. You build a trench line around your airfield. So I have a feeling that we might get something similar to a gunship, perhaps like helicopters or blimps with guns, similar to how the Wasp works. But again, that's all speculation. I don't know. All right, we're taking over, moving in. We've got the angry tentacles slapping us away, but we're going inside. There we go, we're in, and we're not paying rent. Get us out. Squatters' rights. Tearing up all the apartments, looking for reading material. That's it, we are in. And we should be able to hold up here for a little while until reinforcements arrive. We're about to lose the smaller towers, that's okay. All the people inside dying. That's alright, they instantly wake up in the clone vat. Do you have any idea how much that stings? Oh, there's a Molot there. No, no. Garrison all the buildings until the brutes run out. But they won't run out, so that's the majesty of it. Yes. Oh. Brutalized with a tentacle. They're moving us out. Here comes this swarm of Cerberus. This might be an eviction notice. Trying to close the door on the background there. No, we missed. Oh no! Alright, this attack looks like it might be repelled by a massive swarm of Cerberus. That might add another hour to the gameplay. Here they come! They're too busy shooting the brutes though, so we can shoot them in the rear. This is 10 difficulty, 4 base size. Just blow them up. Go, 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 go. 10 seconds, give them some credit. It was long enough for the next badge to come out. No. No, nothing but brutes. Nothing but brutes. It's all brutes all the way down. I'm determined to make this work. And it won't be 5 or 6 hours, I promise. But I will start creeping up the defenses now for fire support, because it's obvious that will take an extra hour if we just do it like that. So creep up the dreads bit by bit. Make sure to send an air cover with them, because this is when the wasps come. always the wasps will come when you start moving your dreads. Our anti-tank are these assault squads with their autocannons. They're like the Helldivers autocannon. Only they don't need help reloading it. We have more than 50% map control, so yeah, they are being pushed back. Let's secure this zone properly. And it seems like our assault squads are chipping into our money. There's nothing I can do about that now. It looks like most of the resources are gone. Some on the right side of the map, but I think we should be fine. Thanks, King Kong. Thanks for joining us, mate. We are smashing them. Brutes only, brutes. Only this time, I'm the general now. Alright, move up. Move up, move up, move up. We do have to split our firepower because of this giant obstruction in front of our base. But that kept us alive. That shield kept us alive. Funneling most of the waves down the right side of our base. A huge impact on our early survivability. So your map spawn does play a huge part in your survivability. This was actually an amazing map for us. Being able, like, to have a shield against the wave, priceless. Right, move up the turrets. We do not want a wasp swarm to silence our ambitions. We destroyed that city. That was a bit of a party, wasn't it? Let's go. Brutes on the march. Assault squads joining them. Make sure we don't send the dreadnoughts into battle. I have a habit of doing that when I press select all. Yeah, I've done it again. Set them back here. Now we just hope that no flies get into our base from behind, because there will be no answer. Oh yeah, there would be. There's a constant stream of brutes running through the base. Yeah, we'll be fine. Go, go, go. Moving up, moving up. This left side saw no action, so yeah, we didn't really need them. Again, the shield keeping us safe. If you are enjoying the stream, guys, do me a huge favor and hit the like button. I have noticed in recent days that that does make a huge impact on the discoverability, and that would be you doing your part. And I got one-liners for days. Yeah, we need to be able to sow the crop after we've tilled the soil. Yeah, those buildings did do a good job, and if I hadn't supported them with some panic-built trenches, perhaps, because you can build trenches around an occupied building, doesn't matter where it is. Slap some trenches down next time, that might be a better option. So that all the fire's not on the building itself, and then just stack brutes into the trenches as well. Then you don't have to really worry about repairing it and risking expensive units. Would you like to know more? Wasps, I knew it. We're moving dreads and the wasps are inbound. But it looks like they are also drawn to the brute swarm. Move up. Left side, they will have some serious answers to give. They have not fired any of their ammunition. Their barrels are still in perfect condition. Well, you came to the right place, guys. bombers. The clutch. The clutch. This will speed it up by 2 hours. There's a stream of worms heading from the right. There must be some corpses over there. Personally, I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm sure there's some Slanesh fans out there that'll do some work. How dedicated are those kind of guys? I think they might be quick. Personally, you won't catch me playing something like that. It's a quick way to get a divorce. Speedrun divorce. And I'm sure those divorce lawyers have seen some wacky reasons, but damn, that would be a wacky one. Yeah, they see worm teeth and they get ideas. They see flesh and they get ideas. It doesn't take much. Overstimulation is what I call it. Alright, here's a door that we could slam shut at any point if it gets too hairy. Let's stand under the door, that's a great idea. We've got a couple of chevroned assault troopers, but they're throwing them into the moor. So that wave got obliterated and there's a large batch rolling hot out of the oven. It seems like the more units you lose, the faster your support power goes up too. It's not just kills, it seems. Like we're losing whole waves of brutes and the support power is just going tick, 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 tick. Approval meter. Need some UI scaling. Can't really read that tooltip there, but there's the info on the assault squad. It says there he needs armor. The mass infantry are actually better because they have rockets. When we did the no parts run, I made good use of the AT soldiers without having to build them. We're getting there, we're getting there. It was challenging to start, but now that the production line's going and cranking out clones, well, we're making them faster than the mutants are. And they are down to, what, just 13? 13 factories? Or, no, they've got 23 left. Oh, that's no good, Libby. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate your company. Hope to see you again. Take care. Ask them to be gentle if you're getting beamed up. Unless that was a Star Trek reference. Splat the wasps. Yeah, I think so. It would be easy for rebels. The rebels can't outproduce you. Oh, I don't know. Maybe the assault trucks would just slaughter brutes. I'm not sure. Move up this AK that's languishing behind. We're on the home stretch. Less than 50% of the factory is destroyed. More than 50%. My numbers are terrible. Ooh, actually, we've got a little bit of a overextension here with the dreadnoughts. There's an elite assault trooper. This guy, get into battle. He's the only guy that survived the block wars, is he? ...100 meters at a time. I've just got the brutes diverted off to the right flank to try and take out that small production base. It's annoying me with all the worms. So we will have no protection on the dreads for a few minutes while we take this out. Yeah, out-zerging the Zerg. It's a way to humiliate them, that's for sure. When their strength is rolling numbers. I am very much a fight fire with fire kind of guy. And we've got a small contingent of Brim there to try and keep this front line active. I made a small, montage video, or cinematic video, and I was using 30 howitzers for fire support, and the aircraft got hit directly by just the sheer volume of fire. It was quite hilarious. So yeah, there's a no-fly zone in effect when you've got artillery raining down. They're like mini nukes in terms of how much upward damage they do. Yeah, this left flank has seen not much action at all. It's all on the right side. To the right. To the right. All the mutants are on the right. Here comes the wasps. Brutes are in the cleanup phase of this operation on the right-hand side. Yeah, it's pretty satisfying after watching your dreads just hammer the Cerberus with shells, and then just a howitzer lobbed over just deletes the whole pack. But they're very squishy, so you don't want them taking fire themselves. We've got a bit of danger here. Let's call in an napalm strike. Kill them! Oh, they're gonna run. Chase them down. Bit of tit for tat going on over here. We are earning support powers at a rapid rate. This might be the end of this push. Let's try and get these spitters. You throw enough brutes at the problem, even a Cerberus can't stand up to you. A nice wall of fire there to try and keep that horde back. We'll back up a bit. And we've still got like 60 brutes on the front line. Go! I thought they were going to be pushed back, but I didn't have enough faith in them. We're making it in. Yeah, I'm the sort of guy that flicks with my mouse too, and it always goes off by about 30 or 40 degrees, sometimes completely wrong direction. This is the meat versus meat, yes. You must have seen the short. Fight meat with meat. And that's what we're doing. Our meat's slightly more sanitary than the other. Hello, boys. I'm back. Here comes the bomber. That blob just got annihilated, but they made about 3 or 4 meters, which is exactly what we needed. Select them all. Just keep the assault troopers home. We're running low on money, so I'll stop wasting them. We'll just use brutes for a little while. Got a nice, comfortable 600 supply, and I'm not going to increase it over that. And we now have 2 of the zones. This is a rarity for me. I usually don't bother capturing them. I usually just purge the alien and take them at the end. But we need that a little bit of extra cash. We've got wasps harassing us. So redirecting the line back to our front. That little incursion and excursion on the right paid off. The thing I like about this game is that you're always doing something. There isn't a lot of downtime. But it's also not so overwhelming that you're frazzled. And you can always pause it. I feel like if you put all the work in at the start to build a functional base, you get to reap the reward and watch the battle at the end. About 15 rounds to hit that Cerberus. Yes, siege tank and marines tactic, if that's what you're referring to. Only I don't have to pay for my space marines, they just keep coming. And there's also friendly fire with those tentacles. They will splat their own bugs trying to get you. We're on the home straight, guys. We've done it. Now we just need to take the ground. 11 factories remain, but we have the numbers. The plan for fighting the rebels is get your base up ASAP and don't leave any gaps on the flank because they will 100% flank the shit out of you. If you want to know more, then feel free to watch the VOD. It was called Rebels to Ashes, Dust to Dust. That was my max difficulty playthrough for the Rebels. We concentrated on getting a solid front line up with no gaps on the sides, heaps of flamethrowers. You don't need to worry about air attacks, but you do have to worry about losing every aircraft you send anywhere because of their amazing firepower. So I would concentrate more on calling in dropships full of infantry, scout planes only over your base because they'll get shot down super quick, and the occasional napalm strike. But I would also build a bunch of BREMs, repair vehicles. We're not using RT except for the dreads on the front line. This is an all brute run. Yeah, solid. Solid complector factory, constantly churning out brutes. We've even got veterancy on some of our assault squads. I'm going to start sending all the infantry that are garrisoned in buildings up to join the front as well. On the very first day I played this, I could have sworn it said that the assault trooper was an anti-air troop, but I think I Mandela'd myself. I think I assumed because the armoured car could do it, that the assault trooper could too. We just lost a dread. Send a recovery team. Overextended. Yeah, so that Rebel stream, I reckon you could watch the first half an hour of it just to get through those first waves to give yourself an idea. You wouldn't necessarily have to watch the whole thing. But I think I do it as a stream because I feel like it's a good companion to when you're playing it. The game should go about the same length. And you can get an idea of what to do at the same time. I did it again. I selected all the dreads to go up to the front line. I've got a wasp circling that I need to take care of. 8 factories remain. We've got the territory. We own all the points. We're just going to take this one. Yeah, I think it might have been a mistake. Because it certainly doesn't shoot it, and I just assumed because it sounds like the armoured car's weapon that it could do it as well, and it just can't. It's dedicated ground weapon. So the first few times I got crumped by the wasps, I was like, what are you doing, assault troops? That's your one job. No, apparently it's not. Have we got any guesses on what the casualty number will be? I reckon it'll be in the order of thousands. The armoured car came in clutch in the no parts run. Because the BTR just wasn't doing enough damage. And this is what we're dealing with. This battlefield is a frenetic, chaotic, dark, dusty place where there is no hope. If you get splattered, you just wake up in the clone vat and do it all again. Hopefully learning a thing or two about your last experience. The airstrike can only be rotated a slight amount as the aircraft gets closer. If you move it, it'll have some change to its angle, but largely, no, you can't change its angle too much, maybe 5 or 10 degrees max. It can only be rotated when you deploy it. The scan lines are great, but they do have some issues with translating across to YouTube. YouTube hates that kind of thing. And I'm pretty sure that's what kind of broke the stream the other night. The bitrate was just too much. You've realised the value of the armoured car? I'm glad, because it's pretty good. It's not going to win you wars, but it's great for kiting, and it's got enough punch to do the job if you need it to, teamed up with a BTR squad. How do you zoom like that? You hold the Alt key and zoom in with the mouse wheel. You can also hold the Alt key to rotate the camera. So there is a lot of control to the camera inwards. This is the sort of game that easy to play. It takes a little while to master, but once it all clicks, it's really enjoyable. I'm going to love playing it later on. Go, brutes, go! Go, brutes, go! Here we go! Jacker all the way. And when we win the battle, their one reward will be not being cloned again until the next battle. Alright, time for the coup de grace. Look at all those collectors sitting there waiting for a job. They've got no jobs. There's nothing to collect. And still the Vats keep churning out the brute. Yep, you can. I'm a little bit low on resources at the moment, so I haven't been doing it. So I'm just using the brems to do it at the moment. That's free. No AC-130s, unfortunately. Just napalm and bombs. But I feel like we need some type of gunship. Or blimp with a gun on it. Yeah, that will save your dread line if you repair them with that key. That will save them. Certain death, but it does cost you 10 resources every second. I went and played Zero Space, and I'll be honest, I didn't enjoy it. I did not enjoy it. What the hell were those controls about? That was the most whack control setting that I've ever seen in an RTS, if I'm honest. It was all over the place. It's like, press backspace to build, press R to train, press C to research. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I only have 2 hands. And I was kind of excited that they were going to do something good with it. I don't know, and I didn't really like the faction I was playing. Like, they're commandos, but they're my frontline infantry. Like, what? Commandos just getting wrecked. Call them something else. They're certainly not commandos, just because they got a jetpack. I mean, the full release might be different, but I didn't enjoy the demo. And then I played the Galaxy mode, and that was just... Like, I have a good PC, and the performance was abysmal. You thought they oversimplified it? Maybe it just wasn't for me. Like, yeah, but I didn't enjoy the gameplay itself either. I only played it for 90 minutes, so I will give it more of a shot before it goes away, or if it goes away. But my first impressions weren't stellar. Don't believe so. Not in the demo that I played. And the control scheme somatic that they offer you to teach you is like... Yeah, it just didn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm sure if you've played a lot of StarCraft 2 though, it might be very familiar. But in terms of what it wasn't, it didn't get me excited for the game. I really find story important, or at least atmosphere. Like, I can make my own story up if I need to, like with our brutes here today. But it needs to have the atmosphere to hook me in. I'm not worrying about artillery this time, we're just doing a infantry mid-wave. I think that would probably be my most asked question. Why aren't you using the howitzer? Sir, why? Because I built 30 of them last time, and I've howitzered myself out. My ears are still ringing. You have no idea how much I had to turn the volume down in that cinematic for the howitzers. The reverberation nearly blew my head off. I had like I said earlier, I had heaps of demos I was planning on playing over the next fest, and as soon as I started playing this, I kind of forgot about everything else. So I need to give Dig In a big shot before that goes away. I played Iron Nest, I liked Iron Nest. The last push. They have a factory remaining and we're gonna get it. We're gonna fight through all these worms. Once the factory was set though, unit production micro went out the window. Nice and easy. Danger close, but we're okay. Brutes all the way. So Sunday, I think, will be Brute Appreciation Day on the Discord from now on. They have their place. They're doing their part. Like, what have you done today? These brutes have died 40,000 times each. I reckon we'll see a railgun on the enemy side. I think we're going to see high explosives and even bigger calibers with this faction. I don't think they're going to have anything energy based. Maybe they might get zappy guns like Tesla stuff, or chemical weapons. They should probably get that. They should probably get gas. Full Krieg. I like that the Brute's helmet is just like a porthole. Like, for all we know, that's just... It's not even human shaped in there, for all we know. It could just be like Spaghetti Man. Like, you don't need peripheral vision where you're going. Just go straight ahead. If anything's in the porthole, shoot it. If something fills the porthole, shoot it more, because it's right in front of you. I missed the Tempest Rising beta. How did the Veti go? I was excited for them when I played that game. It's a shame they didn't just release it with 3 factions, honestly, like, but yeah, I digress. I was excited for them. And we didn't really get to see a lot of what they actually did. Like, you saw their bases and you killed them, but what's their gimmick? Making slaves? From what I saw. Growing Tempest? Well guys, wrapping it up here, the last factory's about to fall. If you've enjoyed the stream, again, make sure to hit the like button. And hit subscribe if you want to come back one day. They still have significant group of survivors. We need to kill 56, and that includes these wormy tentacle things. I'm not going to give them the honor of naming them. We'll always be abstract in our description of the mutant. Yes, I finished the campaign with both factions. I quite enjoyed it. Now that I've played this, I wish Tempest Rising was as gritty as this, but I think they were pretty faithful to the Command and Conquer formula as a whole and solely. Oh, I don't know. The GDA, they didn't really vibe with me, but I grew to love their drone operators. Drone operators for the win. But aesthetically, I liked the Not Dynasty Tempest faction. And then the crippled dad in the basement. Yeah, who's actually the guy that probably started the whole shit. I loved the soundtrack. I thought it was very, very faithful, and having Frank come back to make a few tracks, that was exactly what I needed in my life. Oh yeah, I remember the War Ender. Yeah, I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. And that's it. Look at the map. Line of brutes. This is the complector facility. Bask in its glory. You could make it bigger. I don't see the need to. Maybe on a ×3 you would, but I like to leave a little bit of extra versatility with our force so we can build other things to keep ourselves alive. But it goes complectors, storage, power. Complector, storage, power on both sides, and it's all done. Yeah, they're the Soviet arm of the Brotherhood of Nod. They lost contact with Kane and did their own thing. Got an angry boy that needs to calm down and let Dad deal with it. Hey, Azu. Dropping by just as we're about to finish up. I'd love to stay on longer, but I do have a fair bit to do tomorrow. Explosions everywhere, danger close with the big bomber. Smouldering piles of flesh littering the battlefield. We have 3 enemies, 2 artillery and this sneaky little wasp that I have no direct answer for. Where is an AK? Bring an AK over to kill the wasp. Yeah, I saw Warslopter is out. Heard nothing but bad things about it lately. I should probably have a look and see if anything interesting came out, but I doubt it. And that it's changed so much since I started. Like when I started playing that game, it was a serious thing with history and tactics and military doctrines and interesting facts, and that just all went away. I used to love Bruce's segments, or the Day in History or whatever it was. Victory is ours. Let's have a look at the casualties. Brutes are the boys. Let's give them their moment to shine. A little bit of relaxation as they finish off this last tentacle. I'll take a little sneaky snap of that. Casualties, 15,608. Unit losses, 3,902. Whoa, that's a lot of units. Very, very good. My name is Ty, and I will see you guys in the next stream. I hope you have